So I care for two dependent adults, aged 25 and 21. They are my children who were born with multiple and severe disabilities, and I do provide high intensity care for both of those children, and I have been a long-term carer. So I am responsible for every aspect of their lives, and that is from their, cooking to cleaning to hobbies to day opportunities to things like arranging medical appointments, their medications, really everything. So I often describe myself as I am one person, but I'm leading three people's lives. And every day I am stressed and I'm exhausted. I go to bed every day stressed and exhausted, and I wake up every day stressed and exhausted. But it is also very rewarding, and I can assure you that I am never lonely. My life before caring, I can't actually remember what that was like. I have been caring for the 25 and 21 years. So all I ever know is caring. My children were born with disabilities, so it took me an awful long time to realise that I was a carer. Caring has had a massive impact on me financially. So if you take it just from the employment perspective, when my children were younger, we were averaging out at times 10 to 12 appointments per week. That meant that I could only ever work part-time, and that had a massive impact on my income, but it's also affected my pension contribution. I currently work full-time, but I've had to reduce my hours from 37 per week to 34, and that is for caring reasons. I've also had to take unpaid leave in the summer months also to cover care. Even going beyond employment, it still has a massive impact on me financially. A lot of my wages, like many carers, is used to support the lifestyles of those that we care for and to really ensure that all their needs are met. And I can do that because I work, and that is another, really huge, important reason why I need to work. Working for me is hugely important because I have a level 8 qualification, and I want to use those skills, and I also want to use the skills that I've learnt over the years in employment. I can work and I want to work, but combining work with care is really, really hard, and there is very little support out there. Employment benefits me for a number of reasons. It gives me that sense of purpose. I can be somebody else other than a carer. So it gives me time out from caring, and it's like some kind of weird form of respite. I get to talk to people, I get to have conversations in a wide range of subjects. So for me, it's really important that I have that social aspect to it. So working also keeps me out of poverty, and the money that I earn does substitute the lives of those that I care for. So what really helps me balance employment and caring? Well, I'm not going to lie, working and caring is hard, and it is really, really challenging. But there are some things that I have in place that are really supportive. So first of all, there's hybrid working. COVID had devastating impact on society. However, for me, it really changed how we work, and that has allowed me to take a job that I would never been able to take. So currently I am to be in the office 1 day a week. My drive time to work is about 1 hour and 20 to 1 hour and 30 in the morning, and then it's 1 hour and 10 to 1 hour and 20 coming back home. If I was doing that 5 days a week on top of my caring role, that job just would not be a possibility for me at all. I also have things like flexible start and end time. That's really useful because that then allows me to schedule appointments, first thing in the morning or last thing in the evening, and that has very little impact on my working day. I also get a flexible lunch time, and I can take lunch anytime between 12 and 2, and then that allows me again to either do quick appointments or to go and get messages such as prescriptions. I also have the paid carers leave, and that's for emergencies. And I know at the minute there's an awful lot of conversations about that in terms of the Good Jobs consultation that's out there, and whether that should be paid or not paid for carers. But I really advocate that that needs to be paid for. One of my children, does have emergency care needs, and by having that that paid carers leave, that really acts as a security blanket for me. That means that when something happens or emergency happens, I have that to fall back on. It also means that I can go to work every day knowing that if an emergency situation happens, I can leave straight away and not have any financial repercussions. So to me, it's really like gold. Again, in terms of the fact that, there's a lot of querying about it. If you think about it, in the past 3 years, I have had allocated 15 days. I have took 3 of those days. So that is certainly not something that is actually abused. I also think when we're talking about working, we need to consider just the care as well as the care recipients. So my 2 children avail of day opportunities, and they also avail of community transport. And it's those 2 things as well that are massive enablers that do enable me to work. So other supports that would help me maintain my employment would be carers allowance. I believe that carers allowance should be paid to everyone. I care the exact same hours whilst working as I do not working, but I don't get anything for that at all. I get absolutely nothing. If I was to receive carers allowance, that would give me a better quality of life. That would actually increase my health, and it would also make me better off financially, but it could also mean that I could potentially buy in other services that I don't have access to right now. I also have mentioned that I do get the 5 days paid carers leave. However, that is only for emergencies, and I really would like that if that was for appointments as well. The 5 days paid carers leave, I do get that. However, there's many other places that don't have that. That means that I can't actually really move jobs. I don't have the same job opportunities or progression as people who are not carers. We need the legislative changes, particularly for employment. If we don't have rights that are within the legislation, then it simply isn't going to be done. And that means that more unpaid carers like myself are just going to continue to be excluded from the labour market. So I don't actually think that employers really do fully understand what it's like for unpaid carers to combine work with care, especially those that are doing high intensity care and those that are caring long term, like myself. We have that top level, that recognition of, yes, we can have these flexible working practices, we can have hybrid working, and that helps. And yes, they do help, but there's absolutely no consideration given to the exhaustion and the stress of combining both care and working. So I don't really think that ministers in Stormont understand the financial pressures that carers are under, or even the pressures of combining work with care. I have no doubt that there are ministers in Stormont who are caring or who are likely going to provide care, particularly for their elder parents, in years to come. But I would highly doubt that there are any ministers there who are providing high intensity care for more than one person and maintaining a full-time position in Stormont. So even if they are caring, they would actually be on a better wage, and that can actually mean that they could even buy in services. So whether that would be services to care or services even in around the house, such as somebody to cut the grass, even a window cleaner. As an unpaid carer, and like many other unpaid carers, I'm not financially in a position to do that. I do think there needs to be greater engagement with ministers and carers, so ministers can really understand the challenges that our carers are facing every day, day in, day out. And maybe at that point that they would really actually start to understand what caring is like day after day, week after week, and year after year, particularly for long-term carers like myself. So if ministers were sitting in this room today, what I would like to say to them is that we have a massive opportunity here with the Good Jobs Consultation Bill. Make the right changes that carers need to keep carers like myself and others in employment, or let them enter employment. If we can get more carers into work reduces the risk of poverty. And that's not just the poverty risk of that care, but that's also for the people that they care for and their other family members. So I'm under no illusion that there will come a day that I will either have to work part-time or give my work up altogether to care, and that is a very sad reality. No carer should ever be put in that position, and I would even go as far to say that that is shameful on our government. My ask today to ministers is to stop using unpaid carers as doormats. Do the right thing and make us a priority. We have as much right as anyone else to participate in society, and we should not be punished for caring.